Hello everyone, it's a whole new week and I have new tarot cards for you. Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate. Tonight's the first night, and Merry Christmas to the people who at the end of the week will be celebrating that. Also Happy Yule to those out there. There are so many holidays. So anyway, I have new cards for you and I am using my Nightmare Before Christmas deck. There we go. And I also had my primary guide Morgan draw cards for us. Used my Wisdom of the Hidden Realms for the Oracle card. I think we're ready. Let's see what we got. All right. First up, we got the Ace of Needles. So needles in the Nightmare Before Christmas deck represent swords. And the ace is the beginning of a cycle. It goes from ace to 10. And it's a divinely authorized cycle of thought. Swords always represents air, which, real in the world, but you need it to live, but you can't actually touch it. So very similar to our thoughts, real in our head, not so much out in the world. But the ace is a brand new idea. It's almost like it's just, from the divine downloaded into your head. So this week, when you get that great idea, run with it. It's divinely authorized. It's going to turn out great. So pay attention to, I know we're all super busy this week, but try and pay attention because you are going to get a great idea this week. Next up, we have the Five of Candles. So in this deck, wands, the element of fire, is candles. And the 5 is halfway through that cycle from ace to 10. And the 5, no matter what deck, everyone is fighting with everyone because you're halfway through this activity. So it's when you get to that point where you're like, why did I start this? So when this card comes up, it's the universe calling us to remember, why did you start it, and get everybody back on the same team. If you're doing it alone, it's time for you to shut down all that negative self-talk and remember why you started. And I promise it'll get much better, all right? Okay. And next up, the moon. So the moon is major arcana. This represents like events. And the moon is the dream big card. It's the brainstorming card. Nothing's off limits. Anything can happen. But the flip side of that is don't take action on it until you really study it in the light, because everything's beautiful in the moonlight. So this week, dream big. This probably goes with this ace of swords, needles, because you're going to have this great idea and you can dream about all of the options for your idea. Just maybe, wait until daylight to make some big decisions. All right. And then from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, we have the Lady of Lightning. So this is all about big changes and paradigm shifts, kind of like almost like the dreaded Tower card. It also says surprises. So it's not necessarily bad. It's just expect some changes this week. And all of these holidays are happening. So maybe you are going to get a huge, wonderful surprise this week, right? Of course you are. All right, Lady of Lightning. So to wrap up, we got the Ace of Needles or Swords. So this week, pay attention. You are going to get a download of a great idea straight from the source. And we got the Five of Candles or Wands. So when things get wild this week with whatever you've been working on, project you've been working on, go back and remember why you started. It will get you right back on track. All right. And finally, the moon. This is the perfect time for the moon card because we're heading into a new year. Brainstorm, no limits. Figure out, what do I want for the new year, right? And finally, the Lady of Lightning. Expect some big surprises this week. Hopefully all positive, right? Okay, I hope that you have a terrific week. Down below, you can find links to my metaphysical meetup group where we are going to have a manifesting challenge this week. So I will put a link down there so that you can find out more, but it starts on Monday. Would love to have you participate. It's the perfect thing to go with this moon card so you can figure out, what do I want for next year? Also down below is my Patreon link where I have been posting my new holiday novella, Wolf's Winter, and there's a link down there to get involved. You can read it as I write. It's almost done. And finally, down there is my coffee link. If you would like to send me a tip, it keeps me in Starbucks tea and makes my day. Thank you. And finally, year ahead readings are happening now. There are only 2 dates left open in December, and I only do them till January 31st. January still has lots of spots. So go ahead and click that link and reserve your time so that you don't get shut out, because it sells out every year. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.